If you love early 90s anime with really awesome fights and a lot of badass characters and a bit of comedy and fan service as well, then you will love Bastard. And I feel that everyone should really see this because it's only 6 episodes long. It doesn't take long at all to finish. You could just watch it like a movie and complete it. It's really a lot of fun to watch this. You can't really take it too seriously though, because it is a bit of a satire, and that's really where most of the comedy comes from, because it's a satire of, I guess, a lot of similar stories to this, or I guess other anime as well, because you will have some of the characters in here in the middle of the fights getting ready to cast this amazing spell. They'll just say the name of it and announce to everybody what they're gonna do, and you'll see everybody that's watching, because every fight here there's a big crowd of people watching it apparently, but they'll announce it and everybody in the crowd and even the opponent that they're fighting against, instead of preparing themselves, everybody's like, no, not that spell, anything but that spell. It's really cheesy in my opinion. I'm not really that big of a fan of cheesy comedy, but there are things here which really had me laughing. So the Bastard series is set in a world which appears to be in the medieval times, but it's not. It's actually in the future, because there was this god of destruction that came down and destroyed everything on Earth, and here they are rebuilding themselves and repopulating the world, and now there are 4 kingdoms which have divided. Somehow or another they sealed up. You'll read in the manga how they sealed up this god of destruction, but here we have these 4 kingdoms which each have one of the 4 keys to unlock and bring back that god of destruction. And here we have a group called the 4 Warlords of Havoc, which in the beginning here are only 3 of them. They're actually going around from kingdom to kingdom, destroying them and taking the keys so that they can bring back this god of destruction, so it can destroy the world, and then they can tame that again, I guess, and they have the world all to themselves, that they can rebuild it however they want. So the most powerful of the 4 Warlords of Havoc 10 years ago was captured and imprisoned in the body of this small boy. He was sealed away, and that small boy, they don't know anything about this, but he lives in this second kingdom that they're going to, and the king, he is trying to unlock Dark Schneider, the strongest of the 4 Warlords of Havoc, so that he can defend the kingdom against them, which is terrible logic in itself. So of course he comes out and he's not going to do anything anybody wants him to do, and the warlords, they're attacking him, so he fights back against them. So he's pretty much fighting everybody here. This series is mostly about Dark Schneider coming out and fighting a lot of these other warlords, and you'll show the history between him and the other warlords, and also with a lot of the other events as well in the land, because there are a lot of other characters that you'll fight. This series has a lot of just crazy enemies that just come out of nowhere. Like there's a vampire guy in here, and some of them are really cheesy, and some of them, they're very self-righteous, and like I said, it is a satire, so I can kind of see when watching this what they were trying to do, and it is pretty funny, some of them, but some of the enemies, like I said, the vampire guy, I found to be pretty annoying. So the secret to unsealing the power of Dark Schneider from this small boy is that a virgin has to break her holy seal. And when I first watched this a long time ago, I was like, what do they mean by this holy seal, and do they understand how young that boy is? But for them, I guess everybody in this series is just like really innocent or something. They're like, well, the holy seal is a kiss, a virgin's kiss, and I was like, okay, whatever, I'll just roll with it. But a kiss from a virgin on this boy will release Dark Schneider, the strongest wizard. I guess you could also call him a warlock. He's kind of like a warlock, but he uses like fire magic, so he's very powerful. He comes out and he's not going to serve anybody. His goal in the world is to kill all the warriors and take all the women and just have this massive harem with all of the women in the world all for himself. That is his goal, and he's trying to do that within the series. He is a huge horn dog. Like there's one part here that you see him, he picked up this woman on his shoulders and he's going through this castle with her, trying to save somebody else, and he's going through, and she's on his shoulders, and as he's walking, she's like grinding up against him, getting off on him while he's going through this castle fighting monsters and stuff. You can't get much more manlier than that. So Dark Schneider is a very awesome and very powerful character, and he takes a lot of damage in this series too. You see him, I'm not going to get into that because it's like a suspenseful thing, and I guess that could be considered a spoiler, but he is very powerful and he takes a lot of damage. And as far as the other 4 Warlords of Havoc go, you have 2 other characters, which you have this like half dark elf and also this ninja named Gara. They're really awesome characters, and there's actually one point, see the characters here, they're so overpowered within the series because it's satire and they're just cranking everybody up to the max. There's like one person here, like I said, everybody's got these reaction shots where they're like, oh no, don't do that. One guy in the series, I'm not going to name it because it'll take the suspense away, but he's like, okay, I'm going to use this final attack, my final ultimate attack, and everybody's like, no, don't do that, because if you do that, that's a suicide attack. It's gonna kill you. It's gonna take all your energy and you're gonna die. He's like, I don't care, and he does it. And then he gets up and is like, fuck it, I'm doing it again, and does it again. And that is just how crazy the characters in the series are. And there's one scene in here which is crazy, where Dark Schneider is fighting against this massive Ifrit. If you're familiar with Final Fantasy or Ifrit in general, because there are a lot of references with Ifrit all over the place, I'm not sure exactly the origin of Ifrit, but he's fighting against Ifrit completely naked and just taking this massive fireball, and he's just fighting against him face to face, completely naked. Who fights against a fire elemental just completely naked like that? He's just a badass. There was one girl here that was captured, and she was tortured by having this goo poured on her that would like eat away her clothes and just leave her naked. It's like acid, but it only eats away clothing, and that's pretty cheesy, but it's still really funny. It's a really lighthearted but very action-packed series that you have here, with a lot of satire, making fun of other things that are similar to it. Some more proof to how awesome and powerful these 4 Warlords of Havoc are. There's the one guy who I like the least, and you won't really see too much of why I don't really care for him in the anime. That's more of a manga thing where I don't really care for him so much, but he, with one attack, destroys an entire kingdom, and he's just floating in the air. It's like, you know what? Bam! Just takes over the entire kingdom just so easily. So if I wanted to compare the 6-episode OVA of the anime to the manga, which is still ongoing, the 6-episode OVA here takes up the first 50 chapters, if I remember correctly, the first 50 chapters of the manga, and I felt that the manga had terrible pacing. That was my least favorite part of it. It really showed its age just because I feel that newer series are paced a bit better because they understand that people would get bored with it. I kind of got bored with numerous parts of the manga, but I just kept pushing because I knew it was such an awesome series. But 50 chapters for these 6 episodes here, and the pacing to it, even after that, I felt was really slow. And there are just some really funny things, like in the manga, in the middle of a battle, there's like one of these large characters, and then I think after the battle's over, he just like unzips himself, and he's just some tiny guy inside of this suit, which was that large guy. See, you can't really take it seriously. There are a lot of changed names here, changed name of spells, and also changed name of places, because in the manga, a lot of these spells have band names to them. Like, say for example, in the first city that we have in the anime here is called Metallrica, and then in the manga it's called Metallica. So I guess because of copyright and all, they had to change the names of it, but there are some spells, like one of Dark Schneider's most powerful spells called Megadeth, and there's a lot of band names here, and it's a really fun series to read and also to watch. Now, talking about the presentation of the anime here, the art style is pretty good. I like it. The DVD quality, of course, it could be a bit better, but the art style here, I like it. It's from 1992, so it is a bit older. It's not old enough, in my opinion, to look bad, but it's just got that handmade feel to it where it looks really beautiful. And with the audio here, with sub or dub of this, I probably watched this 2 or 3 times in dub, and maybe like twice in sub. Both of them are good, and the dub here, of course, that's pretty good as well. Like I said, with Bastard, it's pretty cheesy. It's got some cheesy comedy here, so the subpar English dub to it actually works in its favor, and of course the translation is pretty much spot on. So whether you want to watch this in sub or dub, it's both fine. The dub, I felt, added to its cheesiness, so go ahead and try it out there first if you want. So if you've seen the anime to Bastard, or if you've read the manga, then let me know your thoughts about it in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later.